Let's look at the way our course is organized and how you'll navigate within the course. So I'm logged in as a student. This is what you will see. Notice the course is organized by weeks. The student has already completed week 1 and week 2. You do have to complete the folders in order. So notice right now it will not allow me to click on week 4, week 5, week 6 because we need to complete week 3 first. Something I also want to point out, over on the side of your screen, you can click grades, and that shows all the assignments in the class. It shows scores for assignments that have already been submitted by this student. This week 2 self-report, there's a little bit of feedback just out to the side, so please watch for that. Watch for feedback from your instructor. Okay, let's get back into materials so we can see the table of contents here. Let's click in week 3. And each item in the folder must be completed in order. So right now these other items are grayed out. You do need to proceed in order. So let me give a brief overview of that. So each week we'll have a little overview, just kind of talk about what's going on in the week, some brief objectives, encourage you to look at that. Then you can click next up on top of your screen. And that will take you to the next activity in the course folder. So I want to describe a little bit what the lessons are like. And it depends on the lesson. You'll see different types of activities, but there are some similar things that you'll see. So usually a brief introduction to the lesson. I want to point out over here on the left side, you'll see how many parts to the lesson there are. You can think of each of these almost as slides in the lesson. So you want to go through each one of those. So sometimes you may need to scroll a little bit, just depends on the lesson. There's also a little bar down on the bottom just charting your progress through the lesson. So of course we want to get that to 100%. Very important, and this is common, we kind of want to do this. Inside the lesson, if I click next up here, it's going to skip all of these parts of the lesson and take me to the assignment. So don't navigate up here yet. When you're inside the lesson, you want to click down here, okay? Or you can click right up here. So notice this introduction matches the introduction. So as you go through it, either click down here or just click the next one. So let's go to the next one, just to illustrate. So walks through, throws a few examples at us. So throughout the lesson, there's going to be lots of examples that are going to be presented in different formats. There's going to be videos, different things to help you. So I'd encourage you to look through these examples. Maybe take some notes, good to write some things down so you've got those. Notice our progress bar goes up a little bit. Let's go to the next one. There's going to be practice built into the course. Some instructions up here that show you how to do that. Sometimes there will be hints. So I would encourage you to try each one of these, just like in a classroom. The teacher may say, okay, we just talked about this. Let's try a couple problems, class. Maybe they have you do it on whiteboards or they put some problems up in front. So as you go through, please try each of these problems and then you can click submit. I'll just illustrate here. A lot of times it's going to have the correct answers built in. So it's a way for you to check yourself. But again, I would encourage you type answers in each of those. Actually work them out on your paper and put them there. You can clear that and try again. Let's keep going. Again, see here's some more examples. Just kind of keep going. There's some more practice for you. So again, encourage you to try those. Hit the submit button to check your answers. Another multi-step problem here. Here's a video, and this will be the format videos are usually in. They're optional, but encourage you to watch them depending on how you're feeling about that particular lesson. Many of the videos will contain examples. There's a transcript down below, and you can click on the video, watch it right within the lesson. And then each lesson, includes some independent practice, just some additional practice with types of problems that you saw in the lesson. These are going to help you go be successful on the actual assignment for the lesson. So strongly encourage you, complete each of these problems, give them a try, click submit after you're done. Sometimes it'll just say you're incorrect. Sometimes it'll come up, tell you the answer. Just kind of depends on the format of the problems and the question types. Now, once I've gone here, I'm on independent practice. I've navigated all of that. Now, we can go up here and click next, or we can go back. In fact, let me just illustrate that. If I go back to the folder, notice it's now cleared. It says we've done that. So we can get into the assignment and we can start our assignment. There was another video about how to navigate within MyOpenMath, so I'll let you watch that video. One little note about that, you do need to score 80 out of 100 to pass on these, be able to move forward. Sometimes once you've done that, this next bar may stay gray for just a little bit. There is a little bit of a time lag for MyOpenMath dumping the scores into Schoology. So if that's the case, just be patient. It doesn't take very long, but that's why sometimes you feel like you've passed an assignment and it's not letting you move forward. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time. So you can go back to the folder, maybe refresh your screen a couple times, and that will usually happen pretty quickly. Okay, if you have any questions about course navigation, of course, please don't hesitate to reach out to your instructor. I hope you enjoy the course.